Happy Thanksgiving from Collect, Darren Ravel and Will Stern. And we are talking about what we are thankful for. Isn't that special? We're going to start with Shohei Ohtani. Listen, to create someone like Shohei Ohtani out of thin air, let's get someone who's essentially Babe Ruth, who hits home runs, who pitches, who in a year where he's hurting, not pitching, is DHing and breaking records that we've never seen. The 50-50 will never be broken again. And he's also international. The intrigue of Japanese, the card market going crazy. I
And he
mean,
plays for the Dodgers.
and playing for the Dodgers and winning the World Series.
Yeah.
Like, so if we created this, it would be fictional, very fictional. And the fact that it's actually happened is extraordinary. So good for the hobby and so good for sports.
The perfect storm of everything you just mentioned. Again, if you said 10 years ago, let's have this person exist, it wouldn't, the odds of this happening are insane. And it's for the entire sport, of course, it's huge. But specifically for the hobby, the interest, the international interest, we've seen it in cards. Obviously, the winning bidder of the Ohtani ball was from Taiwan, the Taiwanese company. And the interest in his cards have soared, and it's gotten people excited about baseball again, and that carries through into the hobby, and it's something that I think is really important. It's nice to see because Mike Trout is not really holding the mantle anymore, so it's nice to have a new guy.
I was in 1997, I edited the first WNBA game programs. And, I've watched women's sports over the years, and most of the time, a lot of it was forced on us, right? A lot of it was forced in terms of you should watch this, you really should be watching this. And what we've seen over the past couple of years, even before Caitlin Clark, was an actual better game, a better game to watch. If you talk about the WNBA, the talent there and then Caitlin Clark comes into this. I criticized her for leaving Iowa. I felt like we needed one more year of her in college basketball, total domination. But guess what? She did better than I thought she would do in the WNBA. And it really is nice to see this woman card game, which you would have never seen. It's like, guess what? All else is equal when it comes to money. So if I think something's going to go up, I'm going to buy it. What's your take, Will? Because I know you're big into Serena cards. So what's your take on the rise here?
Well, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of talk about like how much to attribute the rise of the WNBA to Caitlin Clark when there's so many other great players and there have been in the past, right? But I think it's pretty clear that she's really sparked a huge influx of interest. And then, whether she's the entry point or not, people are staying for the other great athletes and the storylines and the rivalries and stuff. And that's we're seeing that in the card market. I mean, there's never been so much activity in women's cards, and that's great because you know what? It's not only is it a new category, it's a new demographic. Of course, there's always been female women collectors, but to see it at this level where they're able to see themselves portrayed in this way, it's cliche, but like representation matters. And that's what we're seeing. And it's like it's cool that like a young girl is able to collect and have a huge community around collecting these WNBA cards. Whereas 10 years ago, it just wasn't the same. And that's really awesome. And I think it's going to continue because it doesn't show any sign of slowing.
Our third thing to be thankful for on the Collect Thanksgiving table are teams, leagues, everyone who's involved in the behind the scenes of sports getting in front of it in terms of collectibles. And obviously, the MLB authentication program is unbelievable and continues to be. And then I also think about just players getting involved. I've never seen the interest of players saying they want to collect their rainbow or get me my major league debut card. Obviously, the biggest thing we've had recently is the Pirates giving an award for Paul Skeens' card. Paul Skeens and Libby Dunn getting in on the action. Just seems like a whole lot of camaraderie that I don't think we should take for granted.
Yeah, and I think there's a way to be cynical about it and like, oh, this team's offering this and it's PR. It doesn't, guess what?
Doesn't matter.
Everything's about business, everything's about PR, but at the end of the day, it signals the hobby's growing and someone who's a Pirates fan, but maybe not a dyed-in-the-wool collector, all of a sudden is paying attention to the Skeens debut card. Maybe they buy a box of cards and they fall in love with it, right? And I think stuff like that, you know, you can really take a step back and look at it and say that's something that's bringing more people into it, and it's really about the joy of it, especially like you said, you see players collecting their own rainbows or whatever it is. It's like every day on Twitter you see a player like, hey, does anyone have my rookie card, because I'm looking for it. And that connection of like a player and a fan, so the best is you see like some 10-year-old kid trading a card to an MLB player for a bunch of signed goodies. It's like that's as good as it can get.
Yeah, story wise, I mean that's the greatest. Seems like every day we have a player out there saying that they want their card or they need to see their card, whatever. It's really a great story. Most interested in the Pirates since Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla, the Killer Bees. Uh, Will, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you don't eat like I don't eat. I love the thanks and I'm thankful of it, but I don't really like Thanksgiving food. So,
That's a terrible take.
well, we are authentic here at Collect, and that was very authentic. I don't like it. Now, does it seem sacrilege? Yes, but it's
If it was in
true.
a PSA slab, would you eat
Of course I would.
it?
Anything in a PSA slab is good.
Or Beckett or an SGC.
Yes. For Will Stern, I'm Darren Ravel. Happy Thanksgiving all.